Here we go.
Hi guys!
Hi, welcome back.
All right, so we're here on a wonderful
Wonderful day in Indiana.
Day in Indiana. Yesterday it was nice and warm and sunny and we were playing outside, and then today it's rainy and cold.
And welcome to Indiana weather,
Yes.
which I love.
So, but officially it now feels like fall. So playing fall music inside, drinking coffee.
Drinking my coffee in our cute 2020 mug
putting
that we just got at our last trip
at our last trip. That was
last week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this time last week we were recovering from our trip.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. So, we promised you that we were going to go and we were going to have a whole big old how it is COVID trip to Disney. And
So here it is. Here is the good, the bad, and the ugly about going to Disney during the pandemic.
now, disclaimer, since we have been back, news is dropping
my
every
gosh.
day.
Every
and
day.
Things are changing like by the hour. So what was true on our trip may not be true if you go sometime the rest of this year.
What we can tell you is do your research before
Yes.
you go. Know what your airline is doing. Know what your transportation is doing. Know what your hotel is doing if you're staying on property. That's important.
So let's start with the plane trip.
The plane, yes.
So you're going to see all the videos. We've got it. We've recorded everything for you guys to see. But going into an airport during COVID, this was our first time. And being on a plane where you had to wear the mask the entire time.
And you had to wear a mask the entire time. Even when you were sitting
Yeah.
socially distanced at the airport, you had to have your mask on the entire time.
Yeah.
Unless you were actively eating, I think.
I think that's the cue for everybody,
Yeah.
actively eating. So, but it wasn't that bad actually.
No, it wasn't hateful. But it was the beginning, and of course the adrenaline was going.
Yeah.
We were excited and wanted to get to Disney, so that was fun.
And we kept our mask on most of the time.
And the kids didn't have,
Yeah, they weren't bad on the plane.
No.
I know there was times that we took it off if the kids were inside. We flew Southwest, and so until I believe the end of November, this policy is in place that they are going to. You have to go and you're doing 2 seats, so
Middle
the middle
seat's
seat is empty, and unless of course you're with your family, then you're.
but they won't fill that other seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so that was really, really nice.
The other thing too about the flight is you cannot. They don't have normal snacks. So if your flight is longer, make sure you check and see, especially if littles. Emma was looking forward to getting her Sprite, and I was like, dude, you can't get Sprite. They're just gonna give you water and a little snack pack, which Emma picked and chose. You know, I think she ate the pretzels. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. So, Magical Express was different on the there and back.
Yeah.
On the way there, they were very. You have to go. We got on really super quick.
We did.
And once we got there and got in there, but they were like, go to the back. You have to sit in these. Leave a row. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
On the way home, it was all like willy nilly, do what
It's
you
like,
want.
get in there. I don't care. You're going home.
Exactly.
And it just didn't seem. For my first Magical Express trip, I wasn't that impressed. On the way there, I was excited, so I was kind of like the hype man. I was making noise, and we were in the very back. Me and Emma sat in the very back seat, and I never get car sick, and I totally got car sick.
Oh, you
so
did? I didn't know.
I was so sick by the end of the I was like, I need to get out of this van, this bus, right now.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that was not fun. But it was weird, and it was weird. Seatbelts, is that not a thing?
I mean, they have seatbelts.
They didn't like, hey, please put on your. I was expecting kind of like it was like another air trip.
Yeah.
But no, that was weird.
It was a little different. It seemed like that but I think it was because literally we were the only family on the bus that had kids. And so our kids were crazy.
So yeah, we were the only family there.
Yeah, so that made it kind of
It was weird.
So, we were only going for a couple of days, and so 4 nights, 5 days. 2 of the days were flying travel days. So we decided that we're going to do 3 days in the parks. We did Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom. So the first night that we got there, and you guys will see the videos. We're not going to go through everything that we did. We just want to really talk about how COVID pandemic affected us. So first thing that happened was that when we got there, we decided that we were going to go on the Skyliner and go over to Riviera and go eat.
Yes.
So our first thing that we encountered was the Skyliner.
Which was really nice.
It was for everyone except for Tim.
Yes. So immediately as you step off into the airport, you feel that humidity. So then we got a real taste of what wearing the masks was going to be like, because you have to wear them everywhere. You can't just wear them when you're walking into buildings and stuff.
Yeah. And so we originally thought the paper mask would do a lot better. But they actually just make you completely sweaty, wet, nasty. And
it was about 90 every day that we were there. So to give you an idea of the heat and the stuff. Yeah.
So it was, so we opted for cloth mask, but Tim had a really hard time breathing in the mask, and
there was not airflow.
General.
I know. No. I've seen people say that there's a nice breeze in the Skyliners, but there wasn't much airflow. Now, when you're in the Skyliner, you can take off your mask since they're only seating individual families in there. Before, they would probably just allow up to 6 people be in there. I'm not sure that they did.
I don't know how that worked.
Yeah, but so it was very difficult, and so he had to be set out.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, what we learned is that to get to Hollywood Studios, the Skyliner is the only way that you can do it, rather than, the buses. They're not doing it from Pop Century, Skyliner. So the transportation issue, we ended up calling a taxi on that day, Hollywood Studios. Tim, on the way home, had to stop at Caribbean Beach. That's like the hub. And he had to stop there for about a half hour to really calm himself down and get his breathing under control so that he could get back on it to get to Pop Century. Now, when we got on there, Mom had a scooter, so Mom, Mandy, and Libby and Emma all went. And it was just me, Gabby, and Tim. And so we ended up just staying there with him. And they were very kind to let him take his mask off as he was not around people to catch his breath. But it was something that just really put a kink in our trip.
Yeah.
That was the only form of transportation.
Yes.
So transportation in general was a little annoying.
It was. The buses weren't too hateful, though.
So this was Mandy's first time without having a car.
Drove me nuts.
This is our second. It wasn't that big of a deal. I don't care. It
drove me
bother.
nuts for the Hollywood Studios portion, because the Skyliner right now, if you're at Pop or one of the other ones that you can only take the Skyliner there, you are going to have to line up like an hour before they start loading on. Now, they do not start loading. Like, if the park opens at 9, they will not start loading the Skyliners to get you to Hollywood Studios until 8 something.
Yeah.
Like a little bit after 8. And then, but people were lining up. That day that we took the taxi, you were there, and it was already like way, way far back.
Yeah.
So then you're not going to get to the park, and it's stupid to have to wait 2 hours in line at a Skyliner just to get into the park. That part I didn't care for.
Yeah, and the buses were the same way. We had to Magic Kingdom opened at 9, and we ended up going and
it was 7:30 was the
7:30 is when we, they were letting people in early. Now that was good, and the line seemed, once they started loading the buses, they were around a lot, and that seemed to go quick.
Yeah,
but it just was rough, and I understand social distancing, everybody, but there were so many people, it was very hard to social distance. It just seemed counterproductive. I feel like there could have been a better way. I don't know what that better way was.
Right.
But I feel like there could have been a better way. Another big thing that was not so amazing was mobile ordering.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so little tip. If you have a Disney gift card, do not add it to your Magic Band
No.
at your hotel. Because the mobile ordering is what they're doing right now for all the restaurants. Most of the restaurants, I should
Yeah.
say. There are a few that are not. But those places, you cannot use your Disney gift card if it's loaded onto your Magic Band. You have to
Right.
pay for it with some form of card, gift card, redemption card.
So
credit card.
buying food at the mobile ordering at the restaurants.
Yeah.
I think some of the snack carts we were able to use our Magic Band and
Yeah.
charge it to our room, but it was not a thing that we could do with the mobile ordering. So we got the taste of it when we went to the restaurant at Riviera.
Yeah.
But it was very frustrating
Yeah.
to figure it out. And you can't customize anything. Like sometimes you can swap out things, and like we do. Like I like to get grapes instead of French fries. I know they're only on the kids menu, but they always let me do it usually. But
Or I don't like tomato and lettuce on my burger.
yeah,
But like when I was ordering at Pop, there was no place that you could say, please don't put tomato. And what if I was allergic to it? Like
Right.
they would have, I don't know how they would have handled that, but that was something you couldn't customize.
yeah. The restaurants that were in the parks were better
Yeah.
than than having it in the resorts. Pop Century, because the parks closed so early, Pop Century was a hot mess.
And they were booming.
They
long
were
lines.
out the door, long lines to wait just to come in to do it. They would not let you in the store. They would not. I mean, that's a whole nother. We'll talk about that in a second. But it was difficult. It was
Yeah.
things we were not prepared to talk about. That we did our research, and
That we-
people didn't say that kind of thing.
Yeah, and like the rapid refill. So normally you could just refill your drinks.
Yeah.
That was a bit difficult too, because then you had to go and you had to go stand in line, and then they would get your drink and hand it to you. There was actually no checks and balances system there, so I feel like you could have super taken advantage.
Yeah.
There was one time where I had gotten Emma's meal, and it should have came with like a kid's Sprite, and so then I walk up and I said, I need to get, and they didn't even ask me what size, and I didn't think about it. This I think was the very first time we ordered, and I said, she got a Sprite with her meal. And they didn't ask to look at anything, and they handed
Yeah.
me a large Sprite, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't want her to have a large Sprite. But I was like, hey, this is supposed to be kids, and they're like, it's okay, go ahead. And I was like, okay.
It just seemed,
Yeah.
just was odd. And you had to wait, and even when you got in there, you had to stand in line and wait, and things weren't, ours, because we were ordering for 4 people, seemed like it was always not correct.
Yeah.
And the
And
food
it took
choices
at
were not,
nighttime, be prepared to wait. After park closing, if you're at Pop, be prepared to wait. I mean, we waited almost 40 minutes for
Yeah.
our food once our mobile order was placed.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot, and they had time slots, but they're not very true.
No.
It just was a hard way, and I understand. We came in, this is not complaining, it is letting you all know, because we went in full knowing things were going to be very different.
And we still had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
We just want to make you guys aware so you are aware on your trip.
Yeah.
And hopefully things will be changing soon.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
which things seem like they are.
So something else with the resort, again, this is Pop because it's where we stayed, is pools.
Okay.
So as you know, Pop has 3 pools. The 90s pool, right? Which is like a computer.
Yeah, 80s,
80s. Is that 80s?
80s, 90s.
80s, 90s. They're a bowling pin one, and then the Hippy Dippy pool. Hippy Dippy pool is the main one that you see when you walk out of the cafeteria kind of area. That one was at capacity a lot.
Yeah.
But the other one, they were doing some repairs the nights that we wanted to go swimming, so we had to wait till the Hippy Dippy pool was not at capacity. And then once it wasn't, like as people would leave, then they would let other people come in.
Right.
So that's something to be aware of. You'll want to check on.
One night we couldn't swim because of that.
Yeah.
They were just at capacity, and
Yeah.
so, and it by the time it was it was time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't. That was a difficult thing. They still helped you at customer service.
Yeah.
So at the front, they were still there and helpful with any problems or issues that you had. We had some hiccups with our room, a confusion about if it should be handicap or not. And so they got that figured out and got us moved. Took a couple of times, but they got us moved into what we needed.
Yeah.
So we're thankful for that. But it was a different trip. Now, if you think, oh, I'll get them and I'll just sip on my drink, and there you have to be stationary and have your mask on. Now, as of when we are filming this, Florida just said on the mask.
But Disney is saying you still have to wear a mask.
They are everyone from the custodians to every cast member that is you come in contact with, they are there and they'll let you know.
Yeah. Even we tried to take a picture at the Magic Kingdom, just me, Mom, and Leanne, and to take our mask off real quick while we took the picture, and the custodian lady it did not make Mom happy.
No.
But the custodian, she's like, masks on, please. And
They're nice.
and they know the kids are kids, and so a lot of times Gabby's mask would fall below her nose, so we heard constantly, and I'm sure Gabby heard constantly from just us.
Yeah.
Above your nose, princess. Above your nose, princess.
It is hard. So we ended up buying the Disney mask there.
Yes.
I bought it for the girls. I don't care for how they fit my face. They just seemed like they were snug. I didn't like it. But she bought some.
I did. And if you buy, so the regular Disney masks are cloth, and they're that very much cottony material. Those I did not care for in the Florida heat. Now, home, I've loved them. I used them a couple times so far since we've been home. But if you can get, and I'm hoping they come out with Christmas ones. I cannot wait. I'm like waiting, chomping at the bit for them to show them. But the Boo ones and the ones from the Halloween type masks, those are kind of like a dry fit material. Those were so amazing because when you got so like nasty, gross, like sweaty, it happened.
Right.
When you got sweaty underneath your mask, it would not feel like it was sucking to your face.
And
it was really, really great. And they're cute.
And they actually, the girls got Princess one and Mickey had one, and they washed up really good.
They did, yeah. Ours washed up really well.
So that was a blessing. Another thing that we noticed when we were there was when you go shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Shopping was an issue.
Shopping was different.
It was different. Once you got inside the store, as long as you got your mask on, go where you want, do what you want,
touch who you want,
to pick up stuff and mess with it and put it back down. Yeah. It doesn't matter. None of that cares. But they have their capacity limit, and you have to wait in line. It was a long line.
Yeah.
So in Magic Kingdom, when we left, we went through the Emporium and we went and got the girls' hats like we normally do. We had to wait. If you want to go to the hat shop, La Chapeau, I don't know what it's called.
You have to go through the bakery.
You have to go through the confectionery. So the line for the confectionery was all the way down to the extra entrance there. That one that they use the bypass. Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, I want to go in the hats. I don't want to go in the confectionery.
Yeah. I didn't even get to go to the confectionery this time.
Yeah, it was just crazy. But the kicker was World of Disney. I waited for almost an hour at World of Disney to get in.
Now, that was the second day.
That was the second day.
And that was a Saturday. So when they say that the weekends are busier, they are not lying. Parks and Disney Springs on the weekends are ridiculous.
And you'll have to watch when we post those, that because I kept taking video of it. I kept it was amazing to me. Like, I was like, how in the world?
Well, because Wednesday night we didn't have that problem.
We had to wait a little bit, but it didn't take that long.
Yeah. Nearly
as long. But I had to wait for there, and I had to wait for the co-op. I had to wait to get into there.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was long. But there were things that we really wanted to get. It was our last day there. We're leaving that afternoon, and so we're like, okay, we gotta go.
And we were down to the wire.
Yeah.
So we had a rush.
But I got this really cute shirt, Queen of the Castle. So, it's worth it.
It was
Well.
it was nice.
But so those are just a couple of the things that we noticed. I've had some people ask me since we've gotten back, was it worth it? And to be honest, I feel like the things that were upsetting to us, that agitated us, was worth getting away in this time. But the things that were that we'll never do again were non-COVID related.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, what do you
it
think
was too quick.
in the parks though? The socially distancing and the wait times when
So-
we were there.
So when we first got there, the social distancing and the wait times were not so bad.
No.
We expected Friday and Saturday for it to be crazy, and more people, but they also upped the capacity while we were there.
Quietly, they have upped
Yes.
the capacity.
So we did not, where people had gone before us that said, "Oh, you look around, there's nobody." We experienced that a little bit on Wednesday, but it was not what we did. But we did get to ride almost everything
yeah.
that we wanted to, and was able to get on things and go a couple of times. The social distancing in there was okay.
Yeah.
It
We
was-
got used to it pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And, it was hard with the kids sometimes. They
No boundaries.
don't know boundaries. So, but I think so. I think it was good.
we had good people in front of us and behind us in lines most of the time.
Yeah.
Because they would laugh at us, or you'd be like, "Okay, kids, stay away from that nice couple in front of us. I'm sure they don't want you in their space."
Right,
And people
exactly.
would just laugh along with us. It is
Yeah.
what you make of it. But I think the social distancing, I really liked it. Like not having to be on top of everyone.
Yeah.
It really sucked though when you did stuff like Mickey's PhilharMagic or Carousel of Progress. That was the one that I really noticed it because we couldn't sit together as a family.
Yeah.
Because they were only sitting 4 seats together, but they warn you in line. They say something like, "You're only able to sit in parties of 4. So if your party is bigger than that, please make those adjustments now and figure out who you're going to
Yeah.
sit with." So you knew it going into it, but I still didn't like it because me and Emma had to sit, and she kind of thought it was boring, and which crushed my soul. Like really crushed my soul. But yeah, so that's why the parks weren't that crazy.
I really liked on like the boat rides where they put a row in between people
Yeah,
too.
that was nice.
That was nice. Go ahead and keep that, Disney.
Yeah.
But it was overall, it was doable. It was
The other thing that I really liked was the security. Remember that they didn't have to, well, they only had to dig through bags
yeah.
because I had aerosol. But where we're just able to pass through, like,
yeah.
I
The new
love that.
security checks were awesome.
Yeah.
Easy.
And temperature checks were nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing.
And they were always super friendly and
Yeah.
nice and quick, like, and out.
It was not an inconvenience, and not having to do your finger
That
was
was nice.
really nice when you go
Yeah.
in to there. I thought that was exceptional. Overall, it was a really, really good trip.
Yeah.
Just too quick.
It was too quick.
We didn't have a chance to absorb.
No, and what I do think though, I think if because we didn't pay full price we didn't have to pay for the rooms because Disney had royally screwed up something. They had ended up comping these rooms.
Right.
I think if we would have had to pay full price for everything, we probably would not come away with this going, "Oh yeah, that was great."
Yeah.
And if I had, I don't know if you have the same opinion, but if someone was asking me with children, should I go right now? I would say wait, because I think that there's so much missing. If this is going to be like your once in every 2-year trip
Yeah.
and you can wait a couple months, I'd wait till spring.
And I think that
We've missed the sweet spot of
We
where
did.
people weren't there anymore.
we missed the sweet spot.
Yeah.
People are coming, and it is getting back to busy. So, and Disney will have to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to weigh. We missed the parades. We missed the fireworks. We didn't get to see the cavalcades very often at
we
all.
only saw a few because yeah.
Because you were on rides.
Unless you hang out on Main Street, and the
If
park
you're there
hours
more days.
sucked, and
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 to 6, 10 to 7. It was awful. It was
Yeah.
that's not cool. I
Especially when we're used to like
and you're not.
8 to midnight.
Well, and you know, you didn't get a break on your tickets at all. So
No,
that's
yeah.
frustrating. That, and
Yeah.
I understand they've lost money, and we understand that it's a business. You got to do what you got to do. But it was a little frustrating, you know.
So what would be your opinion if someone said, should we go during the pandemic?
I think you have to weigh. For us, there was a lot of issues that were going on, a lot of stress and pressure of some outside things that were happening that affected us.
Back home, you mean?
Yeah, back here. And so we needed a break.
Yeah.
And so for us,
We don't regret going.
we don't regret going. Even if we had paid, we've been like, you know, we paid for everything. We paid for our food, our
We
souvenirs,
paid, yeah. It
our
was just
airline
that one
tickets.
part of it.
Yeah,
and we
the
had already
room.
paid for our airline tickets.
Yes, so that's why it was
didn't,
easier. But I think if you, like Mandy said, if you only get to go every couple of years, this may not be the time for you to go. Wait a little bit. Wait till January, even there. To be honest, who knows what our crazy world's going to look like. Lord willing, 2021 will be so much better. And there's going to be some sweet spots that you can get in there before
The 50th.
the 50th that probably will be a good option for you. But I think that you need to weigh those things, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
It is a doable thing. And I think as Disney, they have been rolling out some more discounts and things, and that's something to keep your eye out on. Or just contact me and I'll watch it for you.
There you go.
I think that if you can weigh the things and say, well, we don't really care to see the characters in a cavalcade's fine. We'd rather ride the rides, or man, the more restaurants are opening up, so that could help you. They still don't have the dining plans and things at time of taping. So you have to say, is this really what I want? But if you've had a year like most people, just a little bit of pixie dust makes it go a long way.
We would definitely suggest doing more than 4 days.
Absolutely.
That was not enough time.
It was not enough time for our family. It wasn't.
For our family, yeah.
If you don't have kids,
If you don't have kids, I'm sure it's much different.
yeah,
Much different.
but for us it was and we didn't take
Strollers.
strollers.
Oh,
We didn't
that's so
take her
nice.
littles, so her littles stayed home with Chris. So it was a different, just overall, it was just different in general.
But we made some amazing memories.
We did,
It was so
and to
good.
be honest, I took a bunch of pictures and liked the pictures that had our mask on because it cemented it that this is what our life was here.
Yeah.
And down the road, when this is all like over and done with, then we'll be like, remember that year we went to Disney, we had to wear a mask the whole time?
Right.
And remember how Mom tried to take a mask off and get a picture? You know, it'd be
Yeah.
fun. It was those memories that I think, that we enjoyed. And it was interesting, but I think it was a good trip overall, just because we needed a break.
And if you guys watch this, feel free to ask us any questions you
Yes.
have. We will answer as much as we can of what it was like when we were there.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, things are changing. They have probably changed since we made this.
Exactly.
So just let us know. Send us a message. We love talking to you guys. So
Yeah.
message us, comment on here, and we will let you know what we know and what to expect.
Yeah, and information that we have heard
Yeah.
or seen from others that have gone. So, okay, so make sure you like and subscribe so that all of our trip, you get to see all of the videos. Those will be coming up next week.
Woo!
And so we'll start off with our plane trip and all of that stuff. And
It seems like it was already so long ago.
I know, right?
I want to go back.
well, we should go back.
Like tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, but I don't know that our husbands will like that,
I don't think
or
Chris is gonna go
jobs,
for that.
or
Yeah.
all those
know.
things. But okay, so
Until next time,
have a magical day.